$1,630 each and every month for Social Security beneficiaries. I have all the details, what you need to know, and the important limits you need to understand right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, so as you probably know, being a Social Security beneficiary, there's a lot of rules and a lot of moving parts, many of which can get very confusing. So in this video, I do want to talk about $1,630, what this number means, and why you need to understand this, especially as a Social Security beneficiary, and how this could impact millions upon millions of people. So let's get into it and discuss all the details. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day as your one and only daily advocate with all of these moving parts as things are changing very, very rapidly. There's a lot going on right now, especially as it pertains to money, benefits, Social Security, new bills, legislation, reform to these very important programs, as well as other things that continue to pop up right here, right now, as there are many different lawmakers out there proposing new packages and ways that they can reform these monthly benefits for millions and millions of beneficiaries. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any updates going forward. And I am very much dedicated to you and this community to continue to find any kinds of money, programs, benefits, or anything else we possibly can right here, right now, while money is very tight for a lot of people. All right, thanks again. Let's jump into it and discuss what does all of this mean and what is this $1,630 each and every month, and what are some of the limitations that you also need to understand going forward. So, like I said, a lot of moving parts here. All right, let's get into this and talk about all the details. All right, so as a Social Security beneficiary, if you've ever gotten into the situation where you've had maybe a simple question about Social Security, possibly you've looked it up online, or maybe you've gone into the Social Security website and tried to find an answer. Well, I'm pretty sure that you probably came out of that experience with about 60 other questions, because it can be very confusing, and ultimately a lot of these things lead to many, many more questions, because maybe you discover something that's like, hey, wait, I didn't know what that is. What are you talking about? How does this pertain to me? How do I get that? How do I avoid that? How do I reduce that? How do I get more benefits? How do I raise my benefits? All kinds of different things, right? So anyway, it can get very confusing, and realistically, Social Security is a very complicated topic. So anyway, I want to talk through some of the details about it right here, and I want to talk about how this $1,630 on an ongoing monthly basis actually does impact millions of beneficiaries, what you need to know about this limitation, and what it would mean in the event that this $1,630 is actually exceeded on a monthly basis, which I can tell you this much, it's going to reduce benefits. So let's get into it and talk about these details a little bit more now. All right, so this does pertain to Social Security retirement beneficiaries. This does not relate to SSDI, and it is not related to survivors or SSI. All of these other programs have their own limitations. So this is just for Social Security retirement beneficiaries. So with that being said, now let's shake this out a little bit more here and discuss more of the details. So now that we know that this is about Social Security retirement beneficiaries, this is for those people who have claimed benefits prior to your full retirement age, FRA, or if you're considering claiming benefits prior to your FRA, full retirement age. You want to take this into consideration because, again, this may impact your benefits going forward. All right, so believe it or not, there's rules wrapped around those people who claim their benefits early. I'm being a little bit sarcastic because we know there's always rules about basically everything, right? So you got to play the game by the rules. If you don't, then again, they might say, hey, foul, just kidding. We're going to reduce some of your benefit now. So let me tell you the reduction of potential benefits and what this dollar amount means here. All right, so if you claim your benefits prior to your full retirement age, your FRA, and by the way, I've talked about that in previous videos. I'm not going to get into that in this one. You probably know what your full retirement age is. But if you claimed your benefits prior to your FRA, then you have some limitations on you that I want to point out for you. Number one, if you are still working, or if you plan to start working or having an income of any kind, is basically what it comes down to. Doesn't matter if you're reporting to a job, the 9-to-5 grind, or if you're working for yourself, self-employed, if you're delivering groceries or fast food or things like this. Doesn't matter what it is. Income is what they look at, right? So you can have an income as somebody claiming benefits prior to your full retirement age, But then again, there's limitations. So let me point these limitations out because this may impact your benefit in a pretty big way. So if you are working or plan to start working, please remember this. As a beneficiary prior to your full retirement age, you have some limitations. You can earn up to $19,560 throughout the course of the entire year, which divides out into $1,630 each and every month. Otherwise, if you earn over that limit, your benefits will be reduced. Now, let me say this much. If you are working or you plan to start working, you can earn up to that limit with no consequences, no penalty, nothing. You're good to go. $19,560, it's all yours, okay? You can work up to that. You can earn up to that limit, no problem whatsoever at all. However, if you earn over that limit, now we got to talk because here's where reductions could start coming in, and it could be in a pretty substantial way here. All right, so if you earn over $19,560 throughout the course of the year, and again, you have claimed your benefits prior to your full retirement age, then your benefits are going to be reduced by $1 for every $2 that you earn over that limit. So I want to say this much. Of course, I cannot advise you on what to do. I don't want to discourage anybody, but I want to simply say this. If this is your situation, you might want to think long and hard about working and earning over that limit because if you do, and they're reducing your benefit by $1 for every $2 that you earn over that limit, you might be working for free, okay? Or you might be working for a very reduced income at that point because you're basically giving up $1 for every $2 that you earn, right? Your income is basically cut in half. Kind of makes sense? So take that into consideration. Again, run the numbers on your situation. For some of you, it might not matter. If you're making, some really good money, it might not matter one bit at all, right? You might think, hey, I'm going to earn more than the limit because here's the thing. Even if my benefits are reduced, I'm good to go. I'm making some pretty good money here and I'm fine, right? So again, it's going to be totally different for some people, but run the numbers on your own situation. And you might think, I'll earn up to that limit, but I'm not earning $1 more because it doesn't make sense. Financially, it does not make any sense because then I'm literally just volunteering my time, which again, there's nothing wrong with volunteering, but if you're going to volunteer, you probably want to do something that you enjoy rather than reporting to a job just so they can reduce your benefit and ultimately basically work for free, right? So again, run the numbers on your own exact situation. But these are the numbers that I want you to be aware of. In the event that you are working or plan to start working as somebody claiming Social Security retirement benefits prior to your FRA, your full retirement age, remember, you can work, no problem at all. You can work, you can have income, does not matter. But remember, averaged out on a monthly basis, it comes out to $1,630 or $19,560 throughout the course of the entire year, with no penalty at all, but any income over that limit, now you're looking at a pretty substantial reduction to benefit. However, there may be a little silver lining here. Now, there is one lawmaker who has introduced a bill to actually raise that limit by $5,000 throughout the course of the remaining portion of 2022 and 2023. So the idea behind this would be because everybody needs extra money right now, as expensive as it is right now with all this inflation, everything right now, a lot of people are starting to work once again who are maybe retired and saying, I got to come out of retirement and, do something to make ends meet right now, which is kind of a sad situation. Nobody should need to be put in that situation, but that is the fact of the matter of the situation we're currently living through right now. But as a result of that, this new bill that one of the lawmakers has presented is actually to raise the limit by $5,000 from $19,560 up to $24,560, which would actually raise that limit by a couple $100 each and every month. So again, this would actually raise the limit from $1,630 up to $2,046 every month. So it'd give you basically an extra $416 a month to earn if you wanted to without a penalty, which would be through the rest of 2022 and 2023. However, so that we're all on the same page here, it has not been passed yet, okay? Just want to make it very clear, just so that you don't go out and start earning, over the limits here and getting reductions to your benefit. It has not been passed yet, but it would seem like a no-brainer at this point to pass this bill because if people want to go out and earn some more money just to make ends meet right now, and realistically, that's unfortunately the current situation we're getting into. If this is the situation for some people, then, these limits should be raised so that people can go out and earn the money that they need without fear of benefits being reduced at a pretty substantial rate, right? So, anyway, these are the details that I want you to know about. Again, there are limitations, there are rules. There's a lot of rules, right? rules are fine, but I mean, really, let's just get real sometimes. So anyway, these are the rules that I wanted you to be aware of. Like I've said before, Social Security is a very big, complicated, and a lot of times very confusing kind of rule book, right? If you ever look through the Social Security handbook, there's a lot going on in there, right? So anyway, there's a lot of moving parts here, and I want you to know what's going on, especially as it pertains to you. And if you're in the situation where you need to start working or you are already working, this is something you want to take into consideration if you are a Social Security retirement beneficiary. Now, for those of you who may be Social Security disability beneficiaries, SSDI, well, if you're still watching this video, then by the way, you can also still work, but again, you have very different limitations on how much you can earn as well. Yes, you can work and you can have an income, but again, your income limitations are very, very different than what we discussed here. In fact, I would need to make a dedicated video talking about SSDI and the earnings income limits, just because it's very different and the rules are different as well. So the rules and the limitations are different for virtually every aspect of Social Security. For anybody receiving SSI, for example, Supplemental Security Income, again, the rules are very different for that program as well. So you got to know this stuff. Otherwise, if you go out there and you're excited, you're grinding, you're making some money, and all of a sudden you come up and your benefit is reduced by, say, $400 a month, you might be thinking, what happened? Why'd they do that? Well, this is what you got to understand. So anyway, these are the details that I want you to know about. So hope this one helps you out. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Also, leave your feedback down below, your comments, your questions, and your feedback. If you have any, of course, I can always make any dedicated videos if you need me to. Otherwise, I do try to read as many comments as I possibly can and, of course, respond to as many as possible as well. But anyway, these are some of the limitations and details that I want you to know about. I hope this one helps you. If this doesn't pertain to you, please feel free to share this video with somebody that you do think it may pertain to during this very unique time that we're living through. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. Thanks again. Enjoy your day. Until next time, have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.